see. There we go. It's a little dark in here, but I think that'll do just fine. What is going on, you guys? Wonderbro here with another stream. Today we're going to be talking about the fact that your brain is watching. Now I'm going to jump right into this stream, but I'm going to give it a few seconds at least, to get some people in here before we get started. But the brain is watching. That is the title of tonight's stream, whatever time you're watching. The brain is watching. An important little message for you to take to heart and to remind yourself of. Nova is awake. She's not napping. She's awake and she's out the window. May or may not bark. May or may not knock the iPad over. You guys know how she is. She is completely reckless. She is completely reckless. Hello, Miss Lady Blue. Hello, welcome to the stream. Hey, first time catching a live stream? Well, hello, welcome. How are you? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Today we are talking about the brain is watching. An important little message. That's okay, Guan. Just keep at it. Keep at it. These things happen. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this stream started then. We've waited long enough. So, the message for today's stream. It's a mantra, if you will. It is something that you can take with you wherever you go while you are practicing acceptance, while you are on your recovery journey. Your brain is watching. Now, what I mean by that is that as we go throughout our day, look at Nova, in the middle of a stream and wants to bring me her stuffed animal. I told you guys she was reckless today. Now, during our recovery journey, okay, our brain is watching to see how we behave, to see what we do, to see if we're using our coping methods, to see if we are reacting fearfully or negatively to the fear that we feel from the anxiety. The brain is watching. So for example, let's say you get a surge of adrenaline, you get this panic and anxiety that comes over you every day. Every day. Let's say that you're that low on the ladder, you're getting this thing every single day. The brain has started to realize and understand and recognize what you are doing, okay, with these coping methods. So every time you get that adrenaline surge and you get up and you run around the house, or you pace around the house, or you start chugging water, or whatever it is you do to try to avoid the anxiety and panic, the brain, believe me, has recognized and already realized that you are using this as some sort of coping methods. It sees you as doing these coping methods as a way to escape real danger. So when you're triggered, your symptoms are flowing, you've got all these negative thoughts. When you are triggered, your brain is watching to see what you do, to see how you go about things. If you are behaving fearfully in the face of that fear, the brain is going to assume that you need that fear, that you need that anxiety, that it did its job correctly. Now we know experiencing anxiety and panic over these irrational thoughts. We know that experiencing anxiety and panic while we're just sitting alone, minding our own business, nothing is going on. We know we don't need that protection. We know that protection is useless. We know that we no longer need to be protected to that degree. We know that and we understand that. However, the brain doesn't. Due to how we've been behaving fearfully in face of the fear, the brain is going to assume that you need more anxiety, that you need more protection. So, believe me or not, simple little things that you find harmless, like, today I'm feeling anxious, I'm just going to stay in bed all day. Simple little things like that you may find harmless are actually hurting your recovery, because the brain doesn't see you as just relaxing in bed all day. It sees you as hiding from that threat that may be outside your door all day, when there is no real threat. Now, that's not to say that you should feverishly rush around and try to stay occupied 24/7. That's not possible. But that is to say that you should pick back up things that you used to enjoy. You should get back into your old fun hobbies, even if they're not fun to you right now. You should do things that show your brain that there's no real tiger. Brain doesn't know any difference. Brain doesn't know any better, okay? And I made a community post last night that is very, very helpful. And we were talking about how you know that your thoughts are irrational. You know that your worries are irrational. You know that it's just a bunch of bull crap because you probably obsessed and fought with it for such a long time now. You know that it is completely ridiculous. but you're still experiencing anxiety over it. Why is that? That's because the brain doesn't care how irrational or rational your thoughts are. If they're negative thoughts and they're being entertained, they're giving you anxiety, and depending on how you behave with that anxiety that those thoughts give you, will tell the brain yes or no, these thoughts are a real danger or they're not a real danger. So even if you know deep down that said thoughts are not a real danger, if you're behaving in such a way that tells the brain that there is a danger when there isn't, the brain is going to assume that these thoughts are indeed a real danger, no matter how irrational they may be, no matter how many times you sat and figured these thoughts out. That's going to happen. So the brain is watching, and that's why I say it's totally pointless. It's totally pointless and does nothing for you but stress you out to argue with negative thoughts. We need to just not follow those negative thoughts and work on our accepting positive behaviors so that we can show the brain with our behaviors that there is no tiger. The brain is watching, and that is the point of today's stream, you guys. I love you guys. I am going to hang out for a minute, though. I am going to hang out for a minute before we call it quits. Just keep that with you. Just carry that message with you as you go on about your day. Your brain is watching. Do things you normally wouldn't do. If you've gotten to a bad habit of using coping methods or behaving a certain way due to the fear, do the opposite. Confuse your brain. Make it think a little bit. Make it think, they're not doing what they normally do. They're not using the coping methods they normally use. They're not, going the route they normally go. Maybe there is no real danger. And eventually it'll catch on. Eventually it'll catch on. Wayne, hello, dude. How have you been? How has life been? Welcome to the stream. John Boy, hello. We've got a lot of people in here. I'm sorry if that is extremely loud. The microphone's like right up here in my face. Hopefully that isn't too loud. Hello from the Philippines. Hello, dude. Oh yeah, that's right. You did move, didn't you? Or no, you didn't move. Your wedding is in the Philippines, correct? Am I remembering correctly? Thank you for everything you do, Wonder Bro. My pleasure. Dang, what did I miss? All streams, or most streams, not all streams, but most streams do get uploaded to the channel after they're over as regular videos that you can go back and watch. What's up, big guy? Not a whole lot. I'm just trying to, catch random comments as I go. There's no way I could get caught up on all of them at this point. But you did it, Wayne. That's what's important. You did it. And you are no worse for wear. Maybe a little stressed, but you are no worse for wear. Let that be proof. Let that be proof. How's the weather out here? Chilly. Chilly. No more Googling your symptoms. Yes, I completely agree with that. If you want to Google, you need to, this is the only time I'm going to tell you to fight, but you need to fight that urge to Google because Google's horrible. Plain and simple. Google is horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. What is a good way to ground yourself in the present moment? I've got a lot of videos on the present moment. Focusing on a certain sound that's around you is a good way to get into the present moment. Google is an anxiety machine. I completely agree. 110%. 110%. I used to spend a good amount of my time on Google, and it never did anything for me, to be completely honest. I mean, yes, eventually, I learned the correct advice. I learned about Dr. Claire Weeks and all that good stuff. But at that point, once you know what you need to do, Google is just really a hindrance. It's just really hurting you at that point. And the fact that you're here on the channel means that you know what you need to do. So Google is no longer serving you at this point. Where did I get my education on anxiety? Myself, personal experience, a lot of Dr. Claire Weeks and other spiritual leaders, but I'd say I learned the most through personal experience. At one point, I was peeing in bottles, completely bedbound with sensitization, so most of my knowledge does come from personal experience. Yep, do not Google, completely agree. Retrain your brain, period. I agree, Bendy Trees, 110%. I've got some Tic Tacs. My favorite. My favorite candy. Has anyone tried the Linden method? It's completely up to you guys if you want to keep trying other methods, but I'm here to tell you that if you're on this channel, you're in the right place, and now just looking for other methods, you're wasting your time, because right here is where you belong. And if you'll listen to what I got to tell you, and if you'll follow those two main keys with true dedication, you will recover. Continuing to search for any advice or methods after you've discovered this channel is completely up to you, but unfortunately I think at that point you're just trying to find that miracle, and that miracle doesn't exist. That miracle doesn't exist. I was the same way. Like, I was always trying to find the next best thing, the next solid gold piece of advice that would just flip a switch, and unfortunately there is no switch to be flipped. Linden Method is just another anxiety program. Some people were talking in the community section of my page a few days ago about the Linden Method. A lot of people didn't like it, but I can't say one way or the other. I never tried it. It was too expensive for me. But it was methods like that, and no disrespect to the Linden Method, but it was methods like that charge such a high price that actually served as one of the motivators for me starting this channel, because I wanted to give free advice. Because at that point, when I first discovered the Linden Method, I never used it because I couldn't afford it, but when I was first Googling it and stuff, I was really bad off. I was trying to find something, anything that would work for me, and when I would look up these programs that promised cures and stuff, and I would see that fucking enormous price tag, I was just like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, I am so bad off right now. Of course I don't have any money. I don't have any cash. I don't have any money. I don't have any cash. What do you mean pay $150? Like, I don't have a penny to my name, dude. I've been peeing in bottles for the past, 2 months. I don't have a dime to give you for this cure. And it just made me physically sick, you know what I mean? Not to get off on a big, rant, but just enjoying the conversation. It just made me physically sick when I seen that, how many programs were charging so much money. But then again, like I said, I've never actually tried it. It may be great for all I know. I just wanted to give free advice. I just wanted to give free advice. I sent you some cash just now to help you. My phone is muted. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring up that notification. Whoa. $100 donation from Craig. Thank you so much, Craig. Craig is awesome. Craig is the man. He sent me several donations in the past. Give this man a round of applause in chat. Let's see those clap emojis for Craig in chat. Thank you so much for that, Craig. I'm probably going to order some food with that money, actually. It's near the end of the month. The struggle is real. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The struggle is real right now. So thank you so much for that, Craig. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm really tired right now, which is why I'm not so ecstatic like I normally am, but just know that I am truly, truly, extremely grateful. You just bought me lunch today. Look at those clap emojis for Craig. I've got candy all over my mouth still. Craig has been struggling, but he's new to this. He's very much new to the acceptance method. Maybe not extremely new, but he's learning. So, any advice that you make, you guys that have recovered or are recovering with my method, with Dr. Claire Weeks acceptance, the two main keys, any tips you may have for Craig or anybody else for that matter, please drop them in chat so they can be encouraged and motivated. Hello, JP. I knew you were working on that book. That's awesome, dude. I'm glad you're taking something unfortunate and turning it into something positive to help others. My private chats right now are messaging. They're not email. I feel like email takes too long. They're messaging, like over Facebook Messenger and stuff like that, through my Wonder Bro Facebook page. I might introduce video chats at some point in the future, but my sessions right now are pretty darn cheap compared to most coaching sessions I've seen. So right now I do messaging, and they are an hour long. And a lot of people prefer the messaging thing because they can always go back and reread what we talked about. If we're doing voice, unless you've got me on like voice record, you're not going to remember everything that I've told you. So through messaging, I feel like people can go back and reread what I've told them, what I've said to them, whenever they need it, if that makes sense. But that's just a little bonus thing I offer. You don't need it to actually recover. Please keep that in mind. You don't need it to actually recover. Everything that you need to recover is in the videos. Alright, I'm going to put you guys on mute for a second. Thank you once again, Craig. That's actually what I'm getting ready to do, is order food with that money. Like literally. So, one moment. I'm going to put you guys on mute here in a second. Get some food up in here. Get some food up in here. Let's see. We're at that point in the stream where we're just all hanging out. We're just all hanging out and chilling. You're not going to end up in the nut house, Craig. Trust and believe. If you were going to end up in the nut house, I would have ended up in the nut house. Like, if it was possible to go crazy from anxiety, which, by the way, is one of the most common fears with anxiety, I would have definitely been one of those to end up going crazy. 110%. No doubt in my mind. Let your mind be frantic if it's currently frantic, but the key is to keep those positive behaviors, to get back into that life, to do things you don't necessarily want to do, and to behave as if all is well, because all truly is well. It's not a lie. You just need to prove that to your brain. And then eventually those protective thoughts are they're gonna get lowered. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna mute you for just a moment while we order some food and get some food up in here. You guys feel free to continue to hang out, chat amongst each other. There we go. Can you guys hear me? I have returned. It took me a little bit longer to order that food than I thought it would. Seems like you guys have been chatting amongst each other, though. But don't forget, for all my chatty people in here who are enjoying chat, I do have a Discord chat that you can join. It's completely free. And unlike my streams, the Discord chat is something that's going 24/7. Full with people from the Wonder Bro channel. Acceptance-based chat. Shout out to Craig once more for that dono. This food's going to be really good, and I'm excited. The urge to add second fear is going to be very strong, and it's kind of like the same boat that Craig's in, or the same boat that anyone in chat who sensitizes is in. It's very, very difficult at first to not add second fear, but once you understand what's going on, and once you truly understand how anxiety works, which is what I'm hoping to accomplish, and teach you through these videos, once you truly get the grasp of that and the knowledge, I'm not saying that makes it, easy to do, but it does make it easier once you understand why we shouldn't be adding second fear. So continue to watch the videos and understand that second fear usually takes place, or does take place, in the head through the thoughts that we entertain, through our negative beliefs or false beliefs. And so we're up in the head 24/7 fighting with all these thoughts, thinking that we need to fight with them. Maybe if we get a solution to these thoughts, they'll leave us alone. The anxiety will leave us alone. And it is true that the less you entertain negative thoughts, the less anxious you're going to feel, yes. But at the same time, the brain needs to be shown that there's no danger. That's extremely important. So don't spend too much time fighting with those negative thoughts. In fact, like I recommend, obviously, one of our two main keys is to not fight with them at all. Don't stress yourself out like that, because the true problem is that we need to retrain our brains, and then those thoughts will become insignificant. So continue to keep that in mind. Let those thoughts knock. Let them come. There's nothing we can do about that. Don't get frustrated. Treat them and greet them with love, but let them go. And focus on those positive behaviors, because that's what's going to retrain the brain in the end. That's what's going to retrain the brain in the end. So if we're constantly laying in bed all day, if we're on Google all day, if we're giving up on our hobbies, if we have changed our lives completely for anxiety, if we're doing all these negative, fearful things and living in all these negative, fearful ways, the brain is never going to truly learn that there is no real danger. It's never going to get the message unless we start dedicating and showing it. It's never truly going to get the message unless we start dedicating and show it that there's no real danger. That's what it wants to see, right? So we have to do that in order for it to eventually catch up and eventually say, hey, his anxiety levels or her anxiety levels are set up way too high. Look at how they're behaving. There's no real tiger. Okay, I'm catching on. I'm going to slowly, reorganize these files here and set this alarm a little bit lower as time goes on. A little bit lower, a little bit lower. Eventually this leads to cure. I can't say much about pills, but the one thing I will say about pills is that even though I recovered without medication, and a lot of the people here on the channel who've recovered did it without medication, sometimes that route is not for everyone. And don't beat yourself up if you do have to have that crutch for a little while. I think Claire Weeks even mentions it in her books, that there's really truly nothing wrong with having a crutch for a bit, but that's to be taken up with your doctor. Hi, Wonder Bro, thanks for the help. My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. I had a nap today, you guys, and normally I'm not a nap person, but here recently, I've been napping every day. I don't know, I'm getting into the habit of naps now. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Not sure how I feel about it. Yeah, you can have certain moments during your day where you feel more sensitized than others. That's normal. I wish food delivery was like instant. Like as soon as you place the order, it's just there at your doorstep and it's ready. That would be nice. That would be nice. You guys are gonna keep me entertained until the food gets here. I'm gonna hang out with you guys until it gets here to kill some time. I'm sure you guys don't mind, right? I'm sure you guys don't mind. Meditating is basically one of our two main keys. So we say not to follow our negative thoughts. That's basically a form of meditation. I just don't use the term meditation because that turns some people off for some reason. I don't know. There's a lot of misconceptions about meditation. What did I order today? Okay, so, oh boy. I ordered a lot of food today. Philly steak and cheese, I believe I ordered. 2 of those. One for now, one for later. I always do that because I got a mini fridge. You know what I mean? So we stick one of those in the mini fridge for later. Some cheese sticks and some pizza. You can't go wrong with that. I'm not going to be able to eat all that in one go, but I like to order plenty because you can always eat it later. You can always eat it later. Did I ever shed a tear while recovering? Plenty times. Plenty times. Yeah, Philly steak and cheese. Delicious. Delicious. I can't wait. I've ate a few times today, but I'm always more hungry after I nap. And I don't normally nap, but if I do nap, I wake up feeling more hungry than I should. Does that make sense? I don't know what causes that. The checking can be just viewed as another symptom, really, or it takes place in the form of thought. So not following your negative thoughts about the checking, about looking in on yourself, letting those thoughts come and go as they will. Greet them with love, but let them go. All of your symptoms, whether it be chest flutters, whether it be rapid heartbeat, it's all, if it's anxiety related, which I can tell you it is, if you haven't been cleared by a doctor and you want some peace of mind, go get cleared by a doctor. But your anxiety symptoms as a whole can be chucked in the same bucket, regardless of what they may be. If it's anxiety symptoms, anxiety related, then the 2 main keys is the way to go. Always. Please read all the comments. I will do my best. Man, he's over here like, get on it, boy. Read all those comments. Alcohol really helps calming. That is a horrible comment. Yeah, alcohol might be calming at first, but it's been proven that alcohol wreaks just totally wreaks havoc on your nervous system. It just totally wrecks your nervous system. So it might be calming briefly, but I promise you, you're hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself. The same guy who said alcohol is very calming, his YouTube name is Xanax. We're not picking on you, dude. I'm just here to educate you. But yeah, that's a belief that we should work on. Um, no, I completely understand. Please ask your questions. That's what I'm here for. Like I said, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying that's a belief we need to work on. Alcohol actually creates havoc for your nervous system. And although short term it may be calming, it's not something I would tell people to ever do in order to calm their anxiety, because for one, it's not good for you. Alcohol is obviously not good for you. And for two, it's just not good for your nervous system. So short term it may be calming, but long term, hangovers and shit, alcohol with the body, it's just going to make it worse. It's just going to make your anxiety worse in the long run. And obviously that's not a habit that, I want to encourage people to get into, drinking, in order to calm their nerves. That's just not a good habit. So yeah, I'm not picking on you. I'm not picking on you. I'm just here to educate. I'm just here to educate. Pills and anxiety meds and alcohol and all these different approaches you can take in order to try to experience some relief. I mean, it might help short term, but if you want true relief, if you want true peace, that's going to be found by retraining your brain. That's where you're going to find true relief and true peace. I didn't remove your comments to be a dick, by the way. I removed your comments because I didn't want other people who don't know how alcohol affects the nervous system to see your comment and then go out to the store and buy a bunch of vodka or something. That's the only reason I removed your comment. There's a lot of people that watch my videos, that watch my streams, that are desperate for a little bit of relief. So if they've seen a comment like that, they may go out and try that, and I wouldn't recommend it. I've been working with Craig for a while now. I know that it feels like you're just stuck in this loop, and you basically are stuck in a loop. You basically are stuck in a cycle of bad habit after bad habit after bad habit. And you've probably convinced yourself at this point that acceptance may be too simple for you and that's not going to work for you. But if you change those behaviors and those habits, and you really prove to your brain that there's no reason to be triggered, there's no reason to be triggered over this thought or that thought, and you just let those thoughts come and go and focus on retraining your brain with your behaviors and really, really dedicate to that, you will see relief a lot sooner than you think. The problem for most people is that it's not an instant fix. It's not an instant fix because it takes the brain a little while to catch up. And so they give up on it quite easily. And that's the hurdle that most people face. But relief is waiting. It's waiting for you. Thank you for explaining that, Joe. I didn't know, I'm not going to lie, I didn't know the specifics of that. I just knew that alcohol is bad for your nervous system. But thank you for that comment. It's always good to look at your quote-unquote bad days as chances to retrain, because your brain learns the most while anxiety is turned on. That is very important to remember. That's a helpful little thing to remember. So when you're having your bad days, you can switch from that victim mindset to that victor mindset. Hurry up with my food. I'm starving. Whew. Thank you again, Craig, for that donation. We about to eat good tonight. If you're sensitized, then you can kind of bet on everything triggering your anxiety, because that's what sensitization is. It's a weak, fragile nervous system that gets triggered over the smallest of things, including your own thoughts. So keep that in mind. And we need to show that brain that those thoughts are not real tigers. We need to show that brain that, this stimulation of everyday life is not real tigers. And we do that through acceptance. We do that with our reactions, our behaviors, and what we do, throughout our day. Thank you, Joe, for being a kick-ass mod, as always. As always. I agree 110%. Bidney Trees, I am walking proof of that. We've got several people here on the channel that are walking proof of that. And if you're new to the channel, I would highly recommend that you check out my Recovery Success Comments video. It's just a collection of, success comments that I put together in a video to kind of encourage and motivate. I don't know if I should have took that nap or not. Made me feel like a zombie. I feel like a zombie right now. Feel like a zombie. Maybe I just need some food, some energy. Maybe that's all it is. It's cold outside tonight. 2-liter bottle filled up with water. That's some good stuff. Time frames are really hard to give. They're almost impossible to give, and usually they just serve to stress you out, because if you put yourself on a time frame, you're just like, oh, well, I've got 3 months to recover, and then 3 months rolls around and maybe you're not 100% yet or whatever, and then you're just discouraged. So time frames, not only are they impossible to give because everyone's different, but they can also serve to just stress you out. So what I like to say as far as how long it'll take is that a general rule of thumb is that you can make some really good progress within months, sometimes weeks, okay? But see, there we go again, getting into that gray area where it's like everyone's different, so I'm not going to tell you one thing and then it doesn't match up to your desires and blah, blah, blah. And that's just why it's so tricky to get involved with time frames. So tricky. It's not so much of getting over fear as it is accepting fear. So we're accepting fear, we're not adding second fear. And all the negative self-talk, I see a lot of negative self-talk. All of this is just serving to stress the nerves even further. It's just serving to stress the nerves even further, and that's a bad habit. That is what we call second fear. Two main keys: acceptance, okay? Not reacting fearfully to the fear. So you may be filled with fear, but you're not reacting in a fearful way. You're not behaving in a fearful way. So you're pretending like all is well, because at the end of the day, all is well, and we need to show that to the brain. And the second main key: not to follow our negative thoughts, because it's pointless, it's stressful. Just let those thoughts come, let them go. You don't have to engage with them while focusing on your positive behaviors. I know how it is, though. I know how it is to have all those bad habits. I was not perfect at it right away. When we say not to follow your negative thoughts, that's basically a form of meditation in itself. Yeah, I wasn't perfect at this thing right away, so don't beat yourself up. It's not like I learned the advice and then it was all smooth sailing. It definitely was not, but you know. Ugh. Thank you. I appreciate that. Man, this gum loses its flavor so quick. Loses its flavor so quick. Like Tic Tac gum. You chew it for like 30 seconds and it doesn't taste like anything. Should you have sex even though you don't feel like it because of the anxiety? Sex drive decrease is very common with sensitization. In fact, it may be, without getting too graphic, it may be impossible for you to do that right now. But if you can, yes, go for it. Yes, absolutely. 110%. I can't think of a more accepting positive behavior than that. Like I said, it may not be possible though. You're just hungry, would eat anything right now, right? Maybe that's why I'm eating so many Tic Tacs. I never thought about it. I love gum. Oh yeah, many people experience visual symptoms. Yeah, 110%. If it's possible for you to have sex right now, it would only help. It would only help. That's a great positive behavior to use. But this is the thing, right? Like, people don't want to do these positive behaviors and they don't want to get back into their old hobbies because they feel like garbage. So they're like, okay, I'm not going to do the things I once used to enjoy doing. I'm not going to behave the way I once used to behave because I feel like garbage. But the longer you don't do it, the more you're going to feel like garbage. And it's just like, it's this cycle. Please have sex if you can. I haven't seen my boyfriend in 1.5 years. I'm hurt. That's great. That's great. Good thing you can't DM people on YouTube, or your inbox would probably be full right now, Bendy Trees, after that one. I do believe I have several videos on morning anxiety. 9 times out of 10, if there's a subject that you're curious if I've covered or not, I probably have covered it. Just type it up in the search bar. Yeah, when you're sensitized, you'll experience irrational fear over things that you normally wouldn't, and that's the whole thing about sensitization. So we have to show our brain that it is being irrational. We can't just tell it; it needs to be shown. I'm fucking starving at this point. Right now it is almost 8 p.m. where I'm at. Almost 8 p.m. Every time I hear a car outside my window, I'm just like, oh my God, there's my food. What's the worst sensitization can become? If you want me to be completely honest with you, I think I did experience the worst. I mean, peeing in bottles and being bedbound, in my book, is just about as low as you can go. So I've been to the worst of the worst personally, and although it was not comfortable, to say the least, it did not kill me. It did not make me go crazy. It kept me in a cycle of fear, but at the same time, I kept myself there. I kept myself there for much longer than I should have been. No. False. False. Anxiety cannot give you dementia. Snapped you out of it. You don't really snap out of it. It takes dedication, it takes some work, but you can heal. It's not so much a snapping out of it as it is a gradual recovery. Oh, did you guys see Nova? Did she raise up? She's taking a nap right now. She's passed out beside me. I hope my chewing is not really loud. I sometimes forget that I've got this little microphone attached to me now. You will know you're recovered. There's no doubt about it. There's no questioning it. When you've recovered, you will know 110%. Like, you will not question it. Yeah, I do my lives at random times. I never know when my lives are going to be. Follow what Wonder Bro says and you will be cured. He saved me. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that positivity. Thank you for sharing with the class. Oh yeah, there's a huge difference between panic attacks and anxiety. Panic attacks are short-lived, and they're kind of like a peak of these symptoms, and pretty intense. Not to say that sensitization can't be intense, but yeah, there's a difference. In fact, a lot of people who are sensitized don't even have panic attacks anymore. That's not to say it's impossible. You can definitely be sensitized and have panic attacks on and off, but most people are in this sensitized boat, don't even experience panic attacks anymore. That panic attack could have been what brought you to the sensitized boat, so you got prolonged stress and finally it just builds up. Hold on, I've got a phone call. Might be my food. That was my food, and they are on the way. So, it's about 10 minutes from the place I ordered. So I'm going to head outside at about 8 o'clock maybe. Something like that. 10 minutes from now, I'll head outside and wait for it. I'm not much of a drinker. I haven't really drank much in my life. But for me personally, whenever I would get drunk, even before sensitization, I would get dizzy regardless. Some people just don't like alcohol, and I'm one of those people. I didn't like the way it made me feel. And this was before sensitization ever became like a thing for me. I just wasn't a fan. You smoke weed? No. I don't smoke weed, and I never smoked weed while I was sensitized because I felt like it would only make it worse for me. It agrees with some people and disagrees with other people, and I'm one of those people that it would disagree with. So I don't really know how long this sensitization gone. I don't really know what that means or what you're trying to ask. Try to reword that in a different way, and I'll try to answer that. How long this sensitization gone? You might be trying to say how long till it's gone. If you dedicate to the advice given here on the channel, time frames are impossible to give, but you will start to see progress rather quickly. But you smoke cigarettes? Yeah, I think cigarettes are a bit different than weed. A bit different than weed. Not that I have anything against marijuana. I actually support it. I'm all for it. But it doesn't agree with me. Not that I would know or anything. Oh, what got me on the right track? I knew all the advice for quite some time, but I wasn't actually using it. What got me on the right track was just eventually getting sick of suffering and just telling myself, damn, dude, you got to use this advice. You got to do something about this. Like, you know what needs to be done. Stop dwelling in self-pity and get your fucking ass up and, you know, use the advice. Use the advice. Do things even though you don't necessarily want to do them. You know, use those positive behaviors. Show your brain there's no real danger. Get your ass out of bed, bro. And finally I did. I suffered needlessly much longer than I should have. I knew the advice for a while, I just wasn't actually applying it in my daily life. And of course, you know, trying to think your way out of anxiety is not going to happen. Does the healing process hurt? Not necessarily. It feels great, actually. As you heal, it feels great. It's not going to hurt any worse than you're already hurting, I can tell you that. Yeah, it's not going to hurt any worse than you're already hurting. I mean, you may have to face some fears, and when I say face fears, I mean get up out of bed and get on with life the best you can and stop using your coping methods. And of course, this seems scary at first, but it is not going to hurt any worse than you're already hurting. I agree, Joe. Yeah, marijuana caused my first panic attack. Yep, marijuana doesn't agree with everyone. I mean, I'm pro marijuana. I don't see it's all natural, baby. You know what I mean? It's all natural. But it doesn't agree with everyone, and that's just facts. So don't watch this stream and then go out and smoke a bunch of weed thinking it's going to cure you. It's definitely not. At not adding second fear. Perfect. Continue to practice that. Acceptance might feel bad. What does that mean? I think whoever said that because acceptance does require cutting out coping methods. It does require taking a different route in your life. So that's probably what they meant by that. And at first, I guess that can shake you up a little bit. But like I said earlier, it's not going to hurt any worse than you're already hurting, and you might as well do it because that's going to lead to the cure. That's going to lead to showing your brain that all is well. Should I eat on the stream when my food gets here? Do you guys want to eat dinner with me? I'm enjoying hanging out with you guys, to be honest. I love the casual streams. Don't get me wrong, it looks much better and much more professional when I stream from my PC because I've got like the green screen and everything. Um, but I also really enjoy these casual laid back streams. It's almost been 10 minutes. I need to make sure I don't miss this guy. I'm assuming he would call me if I don't hear him come up the driveway. I'm assuming he'd give me another call. But hopefully he doesn't have to do that. I don't know, it's pretty quiet in my room. I should be able to hear him. Did you experience red eyes and like a headache type feeling near the end of your recovery? I did experience a lot of headaches. I'm not so sure about the red eyes, but personally, I mean, we're all different, right? So not everyone is going to experience the same symptoms, but I did experience headaches for sure. CBD oil, now that's a totally different subject compared to marijuana. CBD oil has helped a lot of people. And if you want to use it as a crutch, I'm all for it. I mean, it's all personal choice, right? I mean, you can get on medication if you want. I might be pro natural recovery, but that doesn't mean you have to be. All personal choice as far as using a crutch goes. Face like cut in half there. There we go. See headlights. I don't know if this is my food though. I think it might be. Alright. I will be right back, you guys. All right. Clip that microphone back on. What are you guys talking about? Hello, David. Welcome. I was out grabbing my food. We ordered some food tonight. Ooh, Philly steak and cheese. That's good. That was good. Shout out to Craig. Thank you again, Craig, for this. Oh, it is bomb. It is delicious. I'm sorry if I'm making anyone hungry. Yeah, I'm definitely not shy about eating. I'll have this whole thing demolished in no time. No time. Do I ever worry about future sensitization? That was a fear I had at first. But as you become more and more confident and you see how well the advice works, you lose fear in it because you know that, you've got the tools now. That's half of it done already. I'm not a neat eater either, so if that bothers you, you may not want to stick around. I like that idea, bendy trees. We got some Minecraft going. You might be able to see it out of the reflection of my graphics. Why did I say that? My glasses. This is good. This is real good. Yes, I stopped drinking caffeine for a long time there. And look at me now. What a shame. What a shame. Oh no. I've got the hiccups. Probably from eating too fast. Oh. I told you I wasn't a neat eater. I just get right into this shit. Oh yeah, bacon cheese fries. Here we go. Oh good. A little hot. Really, really hot. Really, really hot. When you're sensitized, Craig, you will have a hard time just doing simple things like your laundry. And it's going to feel counterproductive to do them anyway. It's going to be like, damn, I just want to relax, right? Like, I don't want to do these things. They're giving me fear. I don't want to get up and make my bed and shower and clean and do my chores and go out and do this and that. And I don't want to socialize about anything other than anxiety. I don't want to do these things. It's going to feel counterproductive. But as you're doing them, just know that your brain is watching and it's learning. It sees you calmly doing your dishes, calmly taking that shower, calmly, doing your laundry, like you said. Your brain sees that. And you will reap the benefits of that very, very soon. Very, very soon. Thank you again, Craig, for the donation. You provided me with these beautiful and very tasty bacon cheese fries. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh, I'm getting full. I'm getting full, but we're going to push it to the limits here. Usually anxiety does cause actual real pain. Or can for some people. I wouldn't say it's so much imaginary. Watching from work. Hello, Justin. What's up? Tucker, hello. How you doing? At least I put my hand over my mouth if I'm talking while chewing. I know what you're saying, though. Anxiety can make you think all sorts of things, imaginary. But if you're experiencing pain in your body, then yeah. There's nothing really imaginary about that if you're experiencing it. It's real. But it is a symptom. It is just a symptom. %100% normal. Where'd my dew go? There we go. There we go. Yeah, I agree with that last comment there. Thank you, Joe. Oh, man. I'm officially full, I believe. As I take another bite. Oh, that was good. But you know what? Did I make any dietary changes? No. You gotta save some room for some cookies. That's some good stuff right there. Nova. That is awesome, David. So proud of you. So proud of you. Hope you have a lot of fun, dude. Okay, I gotta put what's left of this food up. So if you guys will excuse me for a moment, it might take me a little bit on this one. That's hilarious, Bendy Trees. It'll never get unbearable, Craig. You'll just be in this cycle, but you have the power to get yourself out of it. 110%. All right, so you guys can continue chatting amongst each other. I got to do some things real quick. I'm not going to end the stream. We're having a long stream tonight. I really enjoy it. So you guys can continue to chat, and I will be back. unmuted my mic just in time to belch for you guys. How polite of me. Ugh. Sorry that took me so long. Although I did warn you guys that it might take a minute. I live with several people, so anytime I order food, I order enough for everybody. Otherwise, I feel like it's unfair. So I had to deliver it all to everybody. There we go. Sorry about that. My mother called me just to tell me that she needed ice in her pop. Really? Really? But that is my mother. So, she gave birth to me. I guess I'll get up and put some ice in her pop for her. Alright. I will be right back once again. Wow, I didn't even clip my mic to my shirt. I hope you guys could hear me that whole time. Anyway. There we go. My hands are too wet. Ugh. Just trying to get caught up on the conversation. Go Vikings, yes. Well, actually, I have to pull for the Redskins tonight because my grandpa's a huge fan of the Redskins, like a huge, huge fan. And it would be wrong of me to not pull for the Redskins just because of him. Whew, I think I'm finally able to sit down. I think I'm back for good this time. Hopefully, maybe. Whew. Check that email. Yeah, Bendy Trees is right, you guys. If you decide to communicate outside of this chat with somebody, or outside of the Discord or whatever, that's completely up to you. That's your choice, but just be careful. Just be careful. You guys hear me okay? I know I've been running back and forth a lot. Oh, after eating so much food, I need to lay back. The Packers aren't playing the Vikings, are they? I think the Vikings and the Redskins are playing, right? I might be wrong. Ugh. Oh, you mean in general? Okay. Yes, Paul. Yeah, as far as communicating outside of the YouTube chat here goes and the Discord, just be careful with that. Don't get yourself stuck in the loop either. I know that it helps to hear people's stories and whatnot, but you know the advice. So it's like, if you ask people who have been here on the channel for the advice, they're going to give you the same advice that I gave you. And you can hear it a million times. Like, you can be told it a million times, but if you're not using it, you're not going to get very far. So be careful with that. Don't stay stuck in that loop. You actually have to use the advice. You guys like my double chin? Good night, Bendy Trees. Yeah, let go of that hold on yourself, you know. Doing mouthfuls of Skittles, yes. Or Tic Tacs. Close enough, though. Close enough. Is this like ASMR? This iPad is so big and heavy. It's so big and heavy, I don't know where to put it. What just happened? Why did we freeze? Good night, Benny Trees. Vikings and Packers. Yeah, the advice is simple and it does work. It's easier said than done, I know. Like when you feel like such shit, the last thing you want to do is, the last thing you want to do is just continue living and drop your coping methods and stuff like that. But you prove to that brain that there's no reason for the protection, and it'll eventually get the idea. So it's simple in concept, but easier said than done. Oh yeah, you'll definitely experience symptoms with a anxiety attack. Ooh, these Tic Tacs are spicy. Good Lord. Good Lord. After eating so much food, I could totally go for another nap right now. I could totally go for another nap right now. Yeah, I'll fall asleep on stream. Just like this. That's perfect. Let me take a look at 10-minute nap, you guys. I really could fall asleep right now. Oh, but you can get out of it as long as you take the advice. And that's a personal choice, right? Anxiety can't take that from you. Anxiety can't take that from you. That's a choice. Anxiety can't make that choice for you. So it can't take it from you either. Alright, guys, so we are over an hour into this stream and it's starting to die down a little bit. I'm starting to die down a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and end this stream here. It was fun hanging out with you guys. I love each and every one of you. I'm so stuffed. I'm probably going to go take a nap. I love you guys. Okay, and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this casual, laid-back stream, I know I had fun, and I love you guys. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, though. Until next time, as always, right there. Stay awesome.